Hi, it's Tim here, and this is the seventh and final, actually it turns out there's 8 videos in this little series, but this is a video around step number 7 of the future-proofing process. And so this is the final step in the 7 steps of future-proofing. And if you haven't seen previous videos, this is what we're going through. We're going through the 7 steps to taking control, doing what you love, and being valued in an unpredictable, unforgiving world. And there is a document, a companion document, that if you're watching this video, you will see either a link for that somewhere on the page, depending on where exactly it's posted. So what we've been doing, these are short little video tips to just kind of walk you through the process as a little bit of a companion piece to the document. So the future-proofing process really is about taking control of your career development, taking control of yourself, and sort of saying, hey, if I'm going to be working in this world, I want to be doing things that I actually care about and that are valuable to me. And how does that look? And that's not necessarily a statement about working for yourself, although that is often what many of us end up doing. It can also, it certainly can happen when you're also an employee, but it's about you being much clearer about what exactly you are all about and what kind of work you want to do, and having the superior negotiation skills to do that because you are clear and compelling. So as we walk through the steps, the first step is really about making the commitment to yourself to take control. And we call that sort of the platform of me. So recognizing that you're sort of the equivalent of a business platform, and how are you going to manage your time, your available time. The second step is the mechanics of how you really program your time so that you are doing your most productive work and that you're staying focused and not being distracted, which, as we all know in this world, can be a very difficult thing to manage. So step 2 is now about kind of the mechanics of getting yourself into a productivity mode, and I call that the weekly heartbeat. Step 3 is then about developing clarity about what is your greatest value proposition that you can take to the world. What is the work you love to do, and figuring out exactly how you do that, how you present that, and ultimately how you value that, which leads to step 4, which is all about the networking. Now that you are clear about what you do, now that you've got a compelling way to present it, and so step 4 is really about activating your network, and there's a bunch of strategies and tactics that go into that, leading into the next step, step 5, which is about curiosity. It's about being curious about the world around you, and the contention here is that when you are working on areas that you truly care about, that are in your wheelhouse, as we say, and that you're passionate about, you are curious and you look around you, and at some level that curiosity and that willingness to experiment is kind of an antidote to the activities, the disruptions that are happening around us, because at least think of that as your early warning system. And then the next step, step 6, is really about now that you're developing all of these really cool opportunities, you're having these great conversations, you're checking out these different places where you might want to invest time and energy to qualify them or to turn them into opportunities, collaboration or otherwise. So step number 6 is really about framing all of that up in what I call an opportunity pipeline, which is kind of what salespeople historically have used. And really this is about putting a discipline around the process of how do I qualify things in and out more quickly so that I am not distracted with opportunities that don't really appeal to me, and I'm not chasing sort of low value things. I'm really putting my efforts into pursuing the highest value opportunities, and that's not just necessarily monetary value. That might be value to you in terms of collaboration or learning things. There's a whole bunch of different ways that opportunities manifest themselves. And then that sort of leads to what I think of as the final step in the future-proofing process. And once you've done all of those things, the final step is really to then have ready and ongoing access to a supportive community that does 2 things. That basically encourages you to live your dreams, that says, hey, yeah, I really want, if that's what's important to you, I really want you to succeed. And at the same time, hold your feet to the fire to deliver results, to turn that dream into actionable steps and to see you progress those steps. And, clearly, as a really supportive group, they can also be helpful in terms of helping you frame up what those action steps look like, challenging some of your assumptions, giving you a venue to present your ideas to help you form your ideas. And, generally the idea, we have these things all the time. We call them board of advisors if you're a small business, or large businesses, board of advisors, which is different than a board of directors. So, board of directors is a fiduciary statement. Board of advisors is about, a bunch of people that you trust, that can give you feedback on your business, on your ideas, on your, on how you are moving forward. So what you want in this community, in this support community, and you can build this yourself. This could be your friends and family. It might be, it might be your spouse. But one of the challenges with a lot of those things is they tend to be ad hoc. They're difficult to access. You don't really, because it's not a formal group, you don't really want to overuse them, and oftentimes they're just not available. And certainly in my own experiences with being on boards of formal boards of advisors and groups that sort of perform that function, one of the challenges is we only met monthly, and oftentimes my issues were I'm the kind of person that likes to be dealing with my issues in real time. So I would much prefer to have a group of people that I can access very quickly, within a few days of having an issue. I'm willing to sit on it for a few days and then process it. I don't really want to wait a whole month. So typically in those kinds of scenarios, you want to have a more, not real time, but near real time access to, insightful opportunities to present your ideas, to get some feedback, to sort of tighten up your thinking and help you evolve that much more quickly. And that's what I've baked into this community that we've been building, called the Free Agent Collective. And that's really the essence of what this is kind of a ready-made, easy to access, always on sort of board of advisors for self-employed professionals. The notion being that it can be, when you are self-employed, certainly living at or working from home as a self-employed professional, it's very isolating. You don't necessarily have a network of people. Oftentimes it's difficult to access people when you want them and to really get feedback. So the whole notion of that, that's that support community that you really need, whether it's the Free Agent Collective or other groups that you belong to, or whether you're going to put that together for yourself. But the Free Agent Collective is kind of intended to be that group that you can kind of join. It's already formed. It's got rituals, and of course, what we've built into the Free Agent Collective is the step number 2, the weekly heartbeat. So that's kind of the ritual or the routine that holds the community together at its most fundamental level, because we're all about, what's your one big thing? What are you going to get done this week? What's important to you? How can we help you? And you can use us as a sounding board. So that's kind of my view of what a really, really great supportive accountability and encouragement group can be. So it's the accountability piece, it's the encouragement, holding your feet to the fire, and it's skill sharpening, all kind of wrapped up in one community. And the essence being that, especially as self-employed professionals, access to a cost-effective support community is really the icing on the cake in terms of maintaining your emphasis and your focus on the constant, sort of future-proofing processes that you're going through. So that's kind of how the end cap for the future-proofing process, starting with the step number 1 is really taking ownership of your career. And step number 7 is saying, okay, I want to now soak with a group of people that are holding my feet to the fire, that I can count on to support and encourage me, but also will challenge me to be the best version of myself that I can be, and to grow and to prosper. So that's that whole future-proofing process kind of in those 7 steps. And that brings an end to into the video series. So as I say, this is all sort of documented. You can download this in the document, which is on a link somewhere in this page. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please do reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you about it, and perhaps we'll see you someday in the Free Agent Collective. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you found this to be a useful use of your time and a valuable service. And take care. Thank you.